So today I will be talking about the equipment, the electronic equipment that I have on my motorcycle trips, the camera equipment, what I use and where I use it, how I charge it, and how I store all the video files. Alright, I'll start with the helmet. I'm using a GoPro 6, just ordinary GoPro 6, nothing fancy about those. I have it on my helmet, and this is a flip-up helmet. It's a Schubert E1. I like the flip-up, so I'm sticking to that. I do have a mount here, but I'm not really using that. And the reason why is that I think there's too much of a helmet in the view. And yeah, I don't like that too much. I have experimented with different kind of mounts because the problem with having it here is that whenever you flip it up, whenever I'm talking to somebody with my helmet flipped up, I don't get the footage. So I'm considering whether to kind of change that. But for now, this is the way it is. I have this is just an ordinary GoPro mount. This is the swivel mount. It's a little bit tight, but you can move it around a little bit. So yeah, basically that's kind of just how it connects like that, and then we're good to go. And obviously it is moved up. Kind of try to align it as much as I can, so it doesn't get too tilted. I have a couple of videos where it was tilted too much, so I had to in pre-production have to tilt the image a little bit. Basically, it just goes in here, and then you lock it. And then I had to just manufacture this little piece of it's just Scotch tape that I made. So because my gloves, when I turn it on and off while I'm riding, the record button is down here, and with the gloves it can be a little bit difficult to actually activate it, to push it. So I just made this little flap that kind of makes it easier for the finger with the gloves to turn it on and off. It's really just a piece of Scotch tape, and then a little bit of bump inside, and it kind of works. I've had this for a lot of kilometers by now in heavy rain and whatnot. So, and should it not work and should it break, it's like 2 minutes and just a small piece of Scotch tape to fix it. Then the microphone adapter goes in here, goes into that slot. So yeah, let me just open that for you. So I can't use the GoPro with that cover. This is the cover that it comes with. It just really connects like that, and then it's kind of waterproof. I can't have that. I can't use that when I'm riding with the microphone adapter. So I'm gonna have to take that off and just pull it off like that. Like that. And then insert the microphone adapter. Just get that to the other side. Right. Like that. Kind of flip it around. So I'm having this Velcro that I put on the microphone adapter, and these zip ties are really because the adapter has this kind of silicone feel surface, so it doesn't stick very well. So I'm just using the zip tie to make sure that they're in place and that the Velcro is in place. Just kind of scoop it around like that. Stick that here, and then the microphone jack into that one. So when I flip it up, it looks like that. It's a little bit of a, but it works okay-ish. And flip it down, because it's upside down like that. And then this loose thing that, bounce around in the wind, I stick it to that one, to that Velcro patch over here, and that it works fine. So this is the setup. Then I have the microphone itself in here. So I just, there's a little bit of thread. I actually used a thread and a needle to connect it to the cheek pad here. And then this is the microphone. And the wire is just tucked away in here. And there's quite a bit of wire in here. But that's okay. It doesn't bother me. So yeah, that's kind of what I have over here. Is the other side is my Sena headset. Sits over here. Can I attach it using these 3M double-sided sticky pads. The wires go in here, and that works quite well. Moving on to my Dji Osmo Pocket. It's I don't have a particular big hand, so this is very easy to carry. I have it in the front pocket of the jacket, and it's easy to take out. And what it does for me is that it gives me, well, first and foremost, it works quite nice. It gives me the ability to, do selfies and record when I'm off the bike. This is very convenient. I'm very, very happy with that one. It has to be said though that it's not very sturdy. I have actually 2 of them because one broke, and then I got another one, and then the one that actually broke, they fixed it for free. So where the GoPro can easily take a little bit of beating, you can drop it from reasonable amount of height. You can't do that with this one. This is a very delicate mechanism here, so it simply breaks. But I haven't found anything else that has the same size, because size is quite important for me. I don't want to carry a truckload of equipment. I have enough as it is already. Add to the amount of stuff. I have considered using, because I have my phone, and you can get those Osmo mobile things, but they're a little bit bigger and they won't fit in my pocket. And I know that if I have to get it out of my luggage every time I have to use it, I end up not using it so much. So it's very, very important for me that it's easy to get to. And a charger, an additional charger that charges 2 batteries. So I don't really carry a lot of batteries. I have 2 GoPros and I have 4 batteries in total. And I usually use maybe 2 or 3 batteries in one day. I don't record all the time. That would simply be too much footage and too much boring footage, if you ask me. For charging, I'm using one of these. I don't have any particular opinion about the brand. It holds a lot of, this is 26,800 milliampere hours, or whatever it's called. And it charges my devices that I'm carrying, my GoPros and my phone and the Dji Osmo Pockets. So this is my 10-port USB charger. I don't know. I may go somewhere else, because 10 is a little bit over the top. I could probably just use 5. I have used 7 at one time, but that was when I was in a cabin with Kurt and Henrik, and we only had 1 outlet, so we could charge all at one time. It has a total charging capacity of 112 watts. Each each port is 2.4 amps. It is a bit heavy and it's a bit big compared to, you guys know how big the GoPro is. But this is what I've been using so far, and it works fine. The GPS that I'm using is just the BMW Navigator 4, which is basically a Garmin navigator. It can also load tracks when I do have some off-road parts that I go to, but actually most of the time, because I don't go too off-road, I can find the map, I can find the road or the track on either the Garmin map, and if not, I can usually find it on OpenStreetMap. So I also load the OpenStreetMap onto this one, and that works fine. And then obviously I use a Basecamp to create the routes, and there's a lot of opinions about Basecamp. Unfortunately, they're not supporting it anymore. which is a bit of a shame because I like the tool. I mean, there's a lot that could be said about the usability and user experience, but it has a lot of great features. So this is a new acquisition. I'm traveling with a Spot so far. I had a situation in Romania a couple of years ago where I had to call SOS, and Spot being the Spot that I had was a generation 2, I think it was. You know, when Dji, they reach out to whoever you have set up as an emergency contact, which in my case was my wife. When she got the call from Dji until she actually found out that I was still alive, it was serious. We could not carry on riding, and we had to be evacuated, but we were alive. That period of time was the worst period of time in her life. So I decided to go for one that you can send messages the other way around, you know, like an ordinary text message. Spot also have a version. This is a Garmin InReach. It is Garmin GPS 66i. It has it's kind of an ordinary handheld device that also have these InReach capability. Using the Iridium satellite system, where I can send messages. And also, just with the Spot, and I think that most of these devices, they are able to, every 10th minute, you know, upload your position. So friends and family can see where you are. Well, not real time, but every 10th minute it gets updated. So they can have a bit of a idea where you are. And I've been told that that's quite convenient for even emergency. If you send an emergency signal and it can't acquire your location at that time, they use the breadcrumb trail to actually kind of figure out where you are. All right, so another thing that I want to show you guys is the DJI, what's it called, CoPilot. It's the portable hard drive that I use to transfer the memory cards from the GoPro and the Pocket. This one has 2 terabyte storage, and the way it works is that I simply just take the memory card from my GoPro like that. Oopla. Slide in. This one doesn't have a micro one, so you need an adapter, but I think adapter comes with all micro SD cards. Just slide it in. Once it's in, press the button. It runs on batteries, and you can actually charge your phone if you want to, but I want to keep the battery for the hard drive. So you copy, and short press and long. Short press means yes, long press means no. So I'm just going to do that like that. So it starts copying, and then I just leave it and go down in the restaurant for a beer. So I do this every night when I at the end of a day of riding, and it just sits there and copies the stuff. Depending on how much stuff you have on the SD card, it takes, I don't know, maybe 5 to half an hour or something like that. Maybe a little less. I haven't really been sticking around and watched the paint dry, so to speak. So this was an empty card, so it doesn't have anything on it. And just copy done. Obviously I'm not around to see that, so it just turns off after a little while. After that, so it doesn't actually remove the files from the SD card, so I have to do that manually. I usually just do that in the GoPro afterwards. So that seems to work fine, and it has a little, let me show you. It comes with various connectors. This was because I'm using the iPhone. Also has a mini USB, and I think it has a USB-C as well. I'm not quite sure. You can connect it to your phone and browse the files on the device from your phone to make sure that it actually copied before you delete the memory card. Yep, so that's quite convenient, and I use this one because alternative would be a laptop, and I don't really want to carry a laptop on my travels. So this one is another piece of equipment that I use, well, not as often as I should, but it's quite convenient to record. I guess the professionals call it the B-roll. So, you know, just some footage that adds a little variation to the videos. And it's very, very convenient because you have the GoPro at one end and this clamp on the other end. So it basically, it goes pretty much wherever you want it to go. I can put it on you know, the crash bar like that. It sits like that, and I can move this one around like that. Really position the camera any way that I want. Can move it to the handlebar like that, and really just, you know, do with it whatever I want. I can put it off bike, I don't know where, like here for instance, on my garage door. So that's quite convenient. So it has this little rubber strap in here. Don't know if you can get an idea of it. So this one, and you can tighten it, so it sits tightly around smaller tubes like that one. I would have to tighten it a bit. See if I can do that with one hand. I can't. You're just gonna have to trust me on that. Yeah, it's very, very convenient, very nice. All right, so this was the photo gear that I'm using, and I hope it gave you a little impression of how I use it and the equipment that I carry on my trips. If you have any questions, if you want into more details in a specific area, please feel free to comment. I will do my best to answer as quickly and as thorough as I possibly can. And until then, have fun.